Oh, no, we're live. Woo! We did it. All right. As always, I'm going to tag everyone. I'm excited for this one, Sharon. It's going to be a great one. We have props today. Oh, you can barely see that. We have props today, as well as some other things as well. So it's going to be a good one. I think what we're going to cover is going to help a lot of people just pull some big levers with their nutrition so that they can have some faster fat loss. What do you think? Do you agree?
I agree. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So I have to give Coach Sharon all the credit for this because she came in with this topic, and we spent like the last 20 minutes kind of just thinking about how we can deliver it to you guys with the easiest and most applicable information. So even though I'm going to be talking about a lot of it, it's really Coach Sharon that came with this information. So she's awesome. Coach Sharon, so what we were talking about right before this call started was easy alternatives to foods that people usually are already eating that can help their fat loss journey. And the first item you brought up to me was yogurts. Now we have this pulled up. Yogurts being, I have to share my screen somehow. Boom! Can you see that? Okay, perfect. So we were talking about yogurts, and it's really easy to just think yogurts are all made the same. We go to the store, Yoplait is super popular, we grab a Yoplait. However, all yogurt, just like we'll talk about in a second, all of these foods we're going to talk about are not created equal. This yogurt has 140 calories, and we can see it's made up of some fat, quite a bit of carbs, not that much protein. That's one container. Now, that's going to fill you up a certain amount for 140 calories. Now, just zooming out really quick in case you're new to the group, first time here, how you lose fat really simply is you need to be eating in a caloric deficit, which means you have to eat less calories than you burn. And if your goal is to not be hungry, you want to be the most full for every calorie you're eating. So Coach Sharon shared some better options. The first one, I believe, is your personal favorite, right?
Well, there are three. I sent a note to my clients about a week ago listing 3 yogurts that at least two of them, if not all 3, will be sold at just about every grocery store wherever they live across the country.
Yes.
And Chobani Zero Sugar was one of them. Kroger Carb Master is a second.
Yes.
And then Too Good, TWO Good is a third. I chose them for based on the size of their container, right? It's this big, and we'll get into that a little bit soon. Yes. I looked at calories, protein, sugar.
Yep.
Everything else falls, and fat. I mean, it all falls into place. And those are the 3 that I suggest. And they have different textures, consistency.
Of course.
So the zero sugar, the Chobani, it's a Greek yogurt. So if literally that will make you feel the most full because it's Greek, and that's one of the texture of it. Some people don't like that fullness feeling, like it's too much.
Yes.
So Kroger Carb Master is kind of like a step down. I'm not talking nutrition, I'm talking fullness. So there's Greek and there's regular, and then like Carb Master is kind of in the middle.
Okay.
And so that's why I mentioned all 3, but that's why I chose them. I want people, what we do here is, as we work with our clients, we want them to build healthy lifestyles. And for something to be a lifestyle, it has to be sustainable. So will someone eat a yogurt that they don't like once or twice? Yeah, probably. But are they going to do it for the rest of their lives? No, they're going to tell me to stick it in my ear and, go eat something else.
Right.
So these are alternatives.
Yeah. And you got to find the one that you're going to enjoy most. Like at the end of the day, and we'll talk a lot about this, it's adherence first, optimize for starting and never stopping again, optimize for you actually doing it, then optimize for results. But as we're thinking of both of these things, we can see 140 calories versus 70 calories. We can see 5 grams of protein versus 13 grams of protein, 27 grams of sugar versus carbs, not even sugar.
Right.
This has 19 grams of sugar. This has 0, right?
Yeah.
So pretty big change there. And I mean, to be honest, like you said, you just got to find the one that's going to be the best fit. You can get potentially something more satisfying for half the calories. Okay, cool. What would be something else we talked about? It would be wraps. I think naturally people see wraps and they go, okay, yeah, that's a better option than bread. And a lot of the times it can be. Now, we're not talking about ingredients today. We're just talking about the nutrition facts and how it applies to fat loss. So one normal mission flour tortilla, 210 calories. We see the fats, the carbs, protein.
And if I can interrupt just for a moment, most
Yeah.
of our clients, not everyone, most of our clients, at least when they start with us, they're in a fat loss phase. So there's a fat loss phase, there's the maintenance phase. Now, some people do want to build muscle, so that's something different. But
Yes.
for fat loss specifically, every calorie really counts. And if
100%.
you're eating one wrap, not everything that's in the wrap, like this is just the wrap itself,
Yes.
that has 200 calories, and you're only taking in like 1,400 a day.
Yeah.
Like that's a seventh of your entire day's calories, and you haven't even like eaten the good stuff that's in the wrap yet. So every choice you make pulls you further from your goals or brings you toward them.
100%. Also, we have a Lisa and Rebecca saying, hey, what's up? Good to see you guys. Welcome to the group, to the both of you as well. So great point. As we go back as well, we have this one, which is their normal 210, just by going with their, I believe it's called their carb balance one. So this is carb balance, low carb, soft taco, same thing, flour tortilla. I can tell you from experience, it literally to me tastes the same. Very like marginal difference. And to Sharon's point, you're tasting all the stuff inside it anyway. That stuff is really just, the tortilla is just holding it there. It just can't be off-putting, right? And this one in comparison has a third of the calories, 210 versus 70. So just for context, really quick, just by changing the tortilla, you could probably have 2 tortillas, including the stuff inside it, depending on what's in it, instead of 1. Imagine how much fuller you would be at a meal eating 2 versus 1 and having it have the same effect on fat loss. What? That's freaking awesome. Not to mention the benefits of the extra fiber, which we're not going to dive too much
into. Extra fiber,
into.
less sugar, all sorts of good things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just all brilliant stuff. So like that's another simple change we could make there. Another one that Coach Sharon brought up was, it's easy to get into the habit of dried fruits. One, because they're yummy, and because they have a connotation of health. Like, oh yeah, I'm eating fruit. However, it's so much easier to eat cups and cups of dried fruit than, I will say, or for the same calorie amount as a normal piece of fruit. An example here is 1 cup of strawberries has about 50 calories, right? And then 1 cup of dried strawberries has about 150 calories, 3 times the calories. Now, why is that? It's because water makes up a lot of the weight in, we'll say, a non or just regular fruit. And that's a good thing because that keeps you full, right? Drinking water keeps you full, keeps you hydrated, and it's going to get you more satisfied. So you could have 3 cups of strawberries compared to 1 cup of dried fruit and eat the same amount of calories. Crazy.
Well, and it's so easy, whether it's nuts or dried fruit or any food like that, even granola. It's so easy to overeat, right? Because you literally, like, you put in your hand, you're just like tossing it in, right? And if you have to sit there and eat, if you're choosing to have fresh fruit, whether it's banana or strawberries or whatever, like what Ryan just showed, it holds true for everyone.
Yes.
It's going to take you longer to eat fresh fruit than it is for you just to be popping it like candy.
Tossing them back, yeah. And
you
especially it's so sweet. You just want more of it,
Right,
like,
and because you crave what you eat. So if you slow down and eat fresh, and I'm all for frozen vegetables, that's a whole different other topic.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
But if you're eating fresh fruit, it takes you longer, and your body may let you, like, tell you, hey, I'm full, you can stop now, as opposed to when you're popping it like candy, and like you don't have time to catch up to realizing, oh, I was full like 20 minutes ago.
The dried mangoes, I gotta tell you, oh man, I got them from Target the other day. I ate way too many. Like, it's just so easy. Whereas if I was eating a regular mango, I'd probably just eat maybe one, maybe, Crazy. Megan, good morning. Good to see you. Tanisha, good to see you as well. Welcome to the group, by the way. Good to have you here. Is this resonating so far, guys? Any questions, comments, concerns? I don't know why you'd have concerns, but let me know. We're going to talk about one other piece here. So we could talk about, and let me know if you have any questions too about foods, like, hey, is there a good alternative to this? I always like for there to be a discourse here, not just us talking at you. But we also want to talk a little bit about nutrition serving sizes on the label, and 3 foods specifically that have we'll say, serving size that is unnatural, meaning we always tend to overeat the serving size because what do you mean? That's just what it's supposed to be. Like, oh, that's like what 1 cup is, when really it's 50 to 100% more of what it actually is. And that could be the difference between eating, in this case, like with a cereal, 180 calories versus 360. And we'll talk about orange juice and some other things in a second. I don't have the visual example to give you for cereal because I don't have cereal in my house. I don't eat cereal, haven't eaten cereal in a long time. So I can't give you that. However, 1 bowl traditionally can fit 2 to 2.5 cups of a cereal. So if we're taking that into consideration, we have your Raisin Bran. That's the difference between eating 180 calories and 440 calories. And granted, these nutrition facts aren't great to begin with. I don't believe you should be eating, Raisin Bran if you're trying to lose weight because it's not very filling. But we can talk about that another time. The 2 that I want to show you are juices, and then we'll talk a little bit about these nut butters. So with juice, we have, let's say a serving size here, 8 ounces, right? 240 milliliters is 1 serving. So when we pour juice, you probably have an idea in your mind of what that is, like how much that is. But the truth, which is pretty crazy to look at, is this is 8 ounces of juice, and this is 8 ounces of juice, or this is water, right? But you get the right idea. When I fill my juice, I fill this thing up to here. That's 50% more calories. And here, I do the exact same thing. I fill it up to here. Now, that may not be that much more, again, just in that one thing. But if you do that with a bunch of different foods, I mean, like we talked about yesterday, the difference between you losing fat and maintaining your weight is 25%, right? If you're normally eating 2,000 calories to maintain your weight and you want to lose a pound a week, that's a 500 calorie deficit per day, 3,500 per week. That's 1,500. That's 25% or 33% more or less for the most part between you losing weight and not. So these things do add up and they do matter. The last one that we'll give you right here is probably everyone's favorite. And then I see the comments coming in too, and we're gonna answer those questions. Actually, we'll answer questions in a second. So the last one here is going to be the peanut butters, right? We all know. Okay, 2 tablespoons. Got it. What's 2 tablespoons? What is that serving size? This is the one that blows my mind every single time. Get an idea of what you believe is 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And then see what it really is. This and a little bit on there is 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. But you might say to yourself, that's only 1 tablespoon. Yes, that is what the weight is. It's 32 grams. I think is what we have it at, right? 32 grams. I weighed this out before getting on here. Yep, 32 grams. Oh my God, I almost put that on my keyboard. That would have been a mess. This is 32 grams. When I eat this, this is 180 calories. So it's very easy to take a whole scoop and actually you're not eating 1 serving. You're eating 2 or potentially 3. That's the difference between 200 calories and 600 calories. That one change alone could be the difference between you losing fat for the day and not, or setting yourself up to lose fat for the day. You're not going to lose fat the same day. That's not, your body doesn't metabolize that fast. Anyway, cool. Other thoughts to add to that, Sharon, before I eat this peanut butter?
No, I mean, I'm a big advocate for measuring your food.
So
And this is
important.
why. And I've talked with some of my clients individually about it. But it all comes down to what you, our client, or anyone who's watching this, wants to do. Like, how serious are you about changing your life?
Yes.
Measuring your food, you don't have to do it forever, but
Right.
the more you do it and the more accurate you are, the more you're going to learn, and the more it'll help you not only in the short term reaching your goal of losing X number of pounds, but also in the long term making this sustainable, so you're not going through this again in 2 or 3 years.
Yes. Great point. And I don't remember if it was the podcast that you and I did last week or the one that Coach Rachel and I did on Friday, but we were talking about how the FDA can be 20%, or was that ours, or was that Coach Rachel's? 25% off. They have like a wiggle room of 25% when it comes to actually putting their nutrition facts in, because it's not always like this is not always this many calories. It could be 25% more or less. Now, you would hope that it averages out, but it could always just be 25% more. So it's like, this is why sometimes even when you are perfect, measuring everything and you're not losing weight, it's easy to think, oh my God, it's my body. I knew it. It's my hormones. I can't control it. Well, no, it could just be that literally we need to reduce your calories even more. And in theory, it's like, oh my God, but then I'm eating less than 1,500 calories. Well, no, if you're not losing weight, then you're at maintenance. That's just the way the science goes, right?
Yeah. You weren't eating 1,500 then, right? Because of measurement issues. One thing about the FDA, like, you'll see a lot of when companies change their nutrition label, it's either because they change ingredients, so they have to recalculate, or it's because the FDA came out with a new whatever that they have to change. I was talking with the owner of, I think she was the owner of a company who talked to her in the last week or two. They sell, I don't want to give their name. They sell nut butters that have, like, this flavor may have some like M&M type things in it. This one may have some Oreo type things in it, like those types of nut butters.
Yep.
And we were talking about her nutrition label, and it said sugar, I don't know, 0 grams, added sugar 6. I was like, okay, how can you say that there is zero
sugar and then there's
sugar
6 added
when you're adding it in? And she was explaining to me that the FDA, this was just part of our conversation, but she was explaining to me that the FDA said your nut butter may have 0 sugar or whatever the number was, but the added sugars are all those candy or cookies or whatever that you're adding in. And so that's how you because now you're retail and not selling it online. Now it's retail, like in a store. That's how you have to present it.
That's interesting.
So the FDA, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason behind it, right? Like, we didn't get into that. That was not why we were talking, but she was telling me about that. So
that's interesting.
The FDA is our governing in this country.
Yeah.
They're the ones who govern all of this, and they do make changes. But within that, there is also some leeway.
Yes. So we had some questions come in too. Alex says, what foods should you eat when sick? That's a good question. Not one that I've heard of a lot.
I wonder if Alex is my client. I was just talking with a client of mine who.
Alex H?
Yes.
That's Alex.
So Alex, hope you start to feel better soon. So, as we talk, so Alex and I were talking about this a little bit. First thing you need to do is get sleep. Like, you need sleep.
100%.
Nutrition is second, fitness is third. That's for everyone. Mm-hmm. From a nutrition standpoint, if you're not hungry, I want you to eat whatever sounds good. Seriously. Like, hopefully it's not 8 tubs of ice cream, but you need energy, right? And so if bread sounds good, go eat bread. Yes. If bananas sound good, go eat bananas. Like, you need the energy. Once you start to feel better, then I'll be like, hey, remember this meal plan that we're working on? Like, let's get you back into that. But seriously, first goal is to eat some food so you have energy, because you can't fight. Sleep comes first, right? But you can't fight whatever illness you have if if you're not getting enough sleep and you're not getting energy, like your body, it's going to linger. You're not going to do your body any good.
Yeah. And, that's sometimes reprioritizing, to your point too. It's like, honestly, if you're not feeling good, fat loss goes on the back burner for a moment. Right. And like, yeah, this isn't your excuse to, like, as you said, eat 2 tubs of gallons of ice cream, but it is like, an opportunity to just recalibrate and say, like, all right, I got to feel good enough to be able to do this now. So I love that. That's a great point. I have nothing to add to that. Tej says, would a Fage yogurt just with blueberries be a good choice? Fage, I believe, is pretty similar macronutrient and
I think
nutrition
they have
facts, right?
different. Yeah, let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. So yes.
Well, there are different. They have different products.
Yes.
So which one are you asking about?
Yep, good point. So yeah, we have 5%, 0%, 2%. Right. Let's pull up a bunch of them and let's kind of compare these both sides. So 0% and 5%.
So are you going to pull them? So yeah, show me.
Yeah, I'm pulling.
Well, I'm going to get really close to the podcast, everyone, so I can see this. So back up. My face is going to come really close to the camera.
Get ready. Get tight. I'm just pull them up. All right. So we have 5%, which essentially is 9 grams of fat, 5 grams.
That has 160 calories. I mean, the protein's good, but you're getting 160 calories for that. And if you're adding fruit to this one, it already has 5 grams of sugar. Let's look at the other ones.
And this one's plain. So like this one probably isn't going to even taste that good. But compared to the non-fat, you're looking at about 50% less calories.
Right.
So the 120.
It has a little more protein, which is good. It still has 5 grams of sugar. So if you're adding fruit to that,
right, you're
getting a whole lot of sugar for not a whole lot of calories.
Yeah, if you wanted to choose between, I mean, the protein is pretty good. If you were choosing between these two, obviously, right, this one, the extra calories are pretty much just coming from fat, the 5% milk fat one. So, I mean, in my opinion, like if you're eating plain yogurt, which doesn't taste that good anyway, you may as well just go non-fat and go plain, and then you throw in your berries. Because if we are thinking like, okay, you have to choose this one, or you have to choose this one, adding berries to keep you fuller longer, my opinion is this one with berries keep you fuller longer, because fat is going to keep you way less full than, say, like fruit of the same calorie amount, if that makes sense.
And my suggestion is either one.
Don't have either.
Try different yogurts. I mean, I tell my clients that. And if you like one flavor, that doesn't mean you're going to like all the flavors. Or if you don't like one flavor, doesn't mean you won't like all the flavors. The other question, or the other suggestion is, if you're trying to make you feel full longer, mix it with a scoop of protein powder.
Yep. That's interesting.
And you can eat that straight, you can refrigerate it, you can freeze it. Just do it.
Yep. I've done quite a few proteins in yogurt, and I will be honest, I've yet to find one really that I'm like, this is good. But I know you have your own brand that you love, that you say like, okay, this works for me. And I think that's awesome too. Experiment. You got to experiment. Yeah. Nice. We got Tay says, okay, thanks, because I have fruit, I can't eat it plain. Yeah, that's totally fine. You might want to like try to find, I mean, that one's not bad. Let me share this again. In my opinion,
like, at least if you're open to it, just try other yogurts. The Chobani, the Kroger, even the Too Good, they range between 60 and 80 calories each.
Yeah.
You're not getting quite the same amount of protein, but you're saving a lot of calories. So you can use those calories in something else if you want it, right? If not, then make this work for you and figure your food out around it, right?
Yeah. What's odd is this nutrition fact doesn't add up, because
I saw.
Yeah, it's like 72 calories from protein, 20 calories from carbs. Where's the other 20 calories coming from?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, like, this is an example of like how nutrition facts can be even wrong on their own. These don't add up. Where are the extra calories coming from? Oh, it's funny. Okay. So yeah, find out what works, like experiment, see what's good. Okay. What are your thoughts on PB2 powder? Do you want to share your thoughts first while I pull this up?
Yeah. So PB2 powder, for people who don't know what it is, it's PB2 or the generic version of it. It's basically peanut flour. So they took peanuts and they squeezed the fat out of it. And all you're left with is it's a more subtle peanut butter taste, but it is a flour. So I just want to have the peanut butter taste in whatever I eat perspective. Yeah, like it's pretty good. If some people talk about reconstituting it, which means taking the powder and then adding it to water, trying to make a peanut butter. It turns out more to be a peanut paste that doesn't have a very strong peanut butter flavor. But if it works for you, it works for you. So like if someone were to eat that, I've suggested my clients mixing it in with yogurt. I've suggested mixing it in with oatmeal. You could take a Lundberg brown rice cake, mix the PB2 or the peanut flour with a little bit of water and spread it on top. If that satisfies your craving for peanut butter without the calories, and you're not looking for the fat, right? Because peanuts are a great source of healthy fat. So if that's not an issue, have at it.
Yeah. For the comparison, it's like this is 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 1 serving, so 200 calories essentially. If in 2 tablespoons of this stuff, sharing again, if 2 tablespoons of this stuff, as Sharon said, gives you the same emotional benefit, craving, and you fix that, great. Like, that's awesome. You're getting the same fulfillment from 1/3 of the calories. Great. Rock and roll. Even if you had double, which I'm not saying go through a whole 2 PB thing a day, but like, even if you had 4 tablespoons of this stuff, you're still eating less calories overall than, even 1 serving of the peanut butter. Right. So something to think about there. Hello. I can't see who said it. Jane, good to see you. Welcome to the group. A lot of new members in the group here today. We're at 9,200 RNs in this group. That's amazing. Any other questions? Any other foods you want us to compare? Any other foods you want us to rate? As some closing thoughts, remember, there are no good and bad foods. It's just how good is it, right? And it's on a spectrum, and it's not binary to the point of good and bad. Think of it more like a ring, where it's like there's like, it's this good for your satiety, right? For how well it's going to keep you satisfied. It's this good for the micronutrient profile for like your health. It's this good for the macronutrient profile. It's this good. So it's like, there is no like, oh, this thing's perfect. Like, this thing's good, this thing's bad. It's like, well, how good or how bad is it? And what makes up something good or bad is more than just the calories or the macros or how good it is for fat loss. There's a lot of things we have to consider. However, to keep it simple, choose the things that you enjoy the most, that generally have the least calories, if your goal is fat loss, because that's how you're going to make it easier for yourself. High volume foods that keep you full, that have the least calories, that you enjoy the most. And that's how you win. Yeah. Sweet. Any other comments, questions, concerns before we wrap? I think that's it. Woohoo. Yeah, that's all I got. I got nothing else. Although, man, my now this room smells so much like peanut butter.
Yeah.
I'm not even like, I don't even love peanut butter, but I'm in like a little bit of a caloric deficit. So like, this actually smells kind of good right now. I'm over here like, man, I want to eat this. But this alone, 200 calories, right? This alone is almost 10% of my calories for the day. This is 10% of my calories for the day. That's not worth it to me, baby. I'm going to go eat like 3 popsicles, right? Because my son and we eat popsicles every night when we watch movies, Disney movies. 40 calories in a popsicle. I'm going to eat 3 of those, baby. What's the name of the peanut butter? What peanut butter? PB2? Are you talking about the one that is like a peanut butter alternative? That's PB2. If you want that,
there are generic versions. Yeah. I mean, whatever store brand, Kroger, Target, like any of those. I can't say any. Most of them have their own. Who have their in grocery section have their own generic brand.
Yep. And Deneen, or Deanne, sorry, not Deneen, Deanne, to answer your question, yes, this is recorded. It goes live right after this. If this was helpful, guys, feel free to like it, shows it to more people. If you are interested in working with us, one-on-one coaching, I'll drop a link somewhere. You can apply to work with us. And that's about it. Hope you have a great week. Let us know if you have any questions too, even if you're watching this on recording. Drop the questions below. Coach Sharon and I will come back and answer the questions, have some discourse, and whether you're a client or not, hopefully help you move in your direction towards your ideal. All right. See you guys soon. Bye.